A staggering 52% of South Africans say they wouldn't take the COVID-19 vaccine if it were available to them, despite being the country being in the midst of a second wave. That's according to the latest data from leading fintech company CompariSure. It says that they've spoken to people from all walks of life about taking the jab. Well, let's get into details of this now with CompariSure's Chief Financial Officer, Kloos. Matt, good morning and thank you very much for your time. First up, just a high-level question. Who was surveyed and when was this survey done?
Good morning, Dan, and good morning to all your watchers. Yes, very good question. The survey has been run over the last few weeks. We conducted it using our chatbot technology via social media. We spoke to several thousand people across all walks of life, as you say, young, old, male, female, educated, the less educated. So it was a very diverse range of people that we spoke to.
Now, I mean, more than half of those surveyed, those surveyed shows that more than half of us in South Africa are not keen on taking this vaccine. That can be a good statistic.
Correct, Dan. I'm personally quite shocked at the number of people that are unwilling to take the vaccine. What perplexes me is that most South Africans have already been vaccinated. I know in the Western Cape, neonatal vaccination rates for TB are in the 90%. So I think the challenge we face is that there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of conspiracy theories around this vaccine, and that will be the society's challenge, is to rectify and correct all that misinformation.
Now, those respondents you were talking to as CompariSure, what were the reasons they gave of why they wouldn't take the jab?
So the reasons were quite varied. 34% of users said they were worried about side effects. 13% cited religion as a reason not to take the vaccine. Some people mentioning cost, so worried about the cost. Again, that's a strong sign that people are misinformed because the vaccine will be free. The government are paying for the vaccines. Then a few other reasons like fear of needles, and then the typical conspiracy theories. The government's going to implant a microchip in you, ridiculous theories that are doing the rounds on social media at the moment.
Well, that will mean, therefore, that the messaging around the vaccine has to change and be spread around as quickly as possible to address some of those concerns.
Definitely, and it's not an easy challenge. It's not like people will change their mind if they see some billboard or some ad. But I think it's up to you and me, it's up to civil society, prominent individuals. Everyone must speak out. If you know someone who's vaccine hesitant, it's your responsibility to try and sway them. Globally, the only way out of the current pandemic is via a vaccination. So if you want lockdowns to end, if you want your job back, if you want to protect your mother, your grandmother, you have to take the vaccine.
Is it perhaps also a question of, besides those concerns, that 52% are saying no, there's a 48% who are saying yes. Therefore, the so-called doubting Thomases maybe are waiting to see the effect elsewhere in the world, because the rest of the world is motoring on and millions of people are getting vaccinated as we speak in different parts of the world.
Exactly, and it's my hope that sentiment changes as we see the vaccine working overseas. As you say, the millions of people have received the vaccine. I have several doctor friends in the US and Europe. They're very eagerly taking the vaccine, knowing that this will save lives. So I truly hope that the sentiment shifts in South Africa as we wait for the vaccine, as we see it taking effect, as we see it saving lives.
Yeah, we're all different. I mean, I'm different from you. Your system is different from mine. But most of us grew up being vaccinated or inoculated against your BCGs as babies, against measles and all kinds of things. I mean, last year, I also took a vaccine against pneumonia. Because when you are of a particular age, there are these new vaccines that you can take to help you manage any pneumonical kind of attack. And it's a double dose type of thing. Do you think there need to be, in terms of your survey, you need to be carrying on to monitor and carry on asking your database if they are changing their perception as weeks go by? Because shortly in South Africa, our frontline healthcare workers are going to be getting the jab.
Exactly. We will definitely be monitoring this trend over time to see how it changes, to see how South Africans react as we move forward. But I think you so rightly say, and as President Ramaphosa said on Monday night, we are routinely vaccinated. We are vaccinated for TB, the BCG shot, as you said. We're vaccinated when we want to travel to certain countries. You get a yellow fever vaccination. So it is very commonplace, and I really hope that over time, South African as a population, as a country, that we open up and that we, that we change, that the sentiment changes.
Matt, thank you very much. He's, of course, the CFO of a fintech company, CompariSure.